Welcome into the Bro Force Squad podcast. We're here to give you another world-famous movie commentary on I Know What You Did Last Summer. We have our movies paused at the 47-second mark on Peacock. Mandalay Entertainment is fully up on the screen. While you guys get your movies synced up with ours, we're going to go around the summer and meet our fellow bros. As always, to my right, the mayor himself, Jeff Hornacek. Jeff Hornacek? Jeff Hornacek. Now, Horns, what did you do last summer?
Something pretty similar to this. I was playing in a slow pitch softball game, and a guy called me out, and it was a bang play. So I ran him down on the road by the fields. Afterwards, threw his body in a lake, hung out with Freddie Prinze Jr. and Ryan Phillippe, and the guy came back and tried to kill me. So, needless to say, we moved up to the less competitive league the next year.
Spoilers, Jesus Christ! All right,
that's my life.
And you heard him. Two Horns' left. We have our legal counsel, Ronnie Cycli. Now, Ronnie, how did you defend Horns last summer?
I not well. I mean, he's currently broadcasting from his prison cell, so I was a little drunk. Whoopsies.
You did get him internet in prison though. That's impressive.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, if my roommate might have to do his workout behind me here in a little bit. A lot of it is beating the shit out of another inmate, so just carry on. I'll try and mute my mic if the guy's crying too loud.
Really, I enrolled Jeff into a community college program, and so he has to maintain a C average to keep his internet access.
Just fucking hard, man. It's tough.
Gotta study up, man. Study up.
For real. All right, where we
All
did
right,
we say
guys.
we pause that?
Yeah, 47 seconds. Mandalay Entertainment is fully up on the screen, and we're going to figure out what we did last summer in 3, 2, 1, play.
Happy Halloween season, guys.
Peacock.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, fucking love. Favorite month, guys. Outside of, I don't know. No, not outside. I love this month.
It's the best. And slasher movies just get it going for me. I just went and plugged in my Halloween light decorations out front. So perfect time to watch some teenagers get murdered.
We didn't get any pictures of your spider situation. We were promised pictures.
Because there's not a spider situation.
Whoa.
Couldn't get the cobweb out. It was really fucking tangled. So I hung them from like my lights out front of my house. It doesn't look great. We're going to figure something else out.
A little disappointed.
Yeah.
Love me some Freddie Prinze Jr.
Intro to this movie. Yeah, Johnny Galecki from Big Bang Theory. It's one of his first movies aside from the Christmas Vacation film. The intro music here, you can't hear it because we're on, at least I have like just my subtitles on everything muted, but it is like so insanely melodramatic. It feels like the beginning of Dawson's Creek almost.
The Summer Breeze, is this Ted Mosby's Guilty Pleasure song?
Right.
Summer Breeze. We were, what was this, 2000, 99?
This is 97.
97. Okay, so that makes sense. So what? Scream was 96. So this is like NSYNC to the Backstreet Boys. What this is to Scream. I feel like just
I'm
like.
Glad you said that, Cycling. My first Horns fun fact of the day: Kevin Williamson, who penned the script for this, wrote the script before Scream in 1996,
wow.
but was unable to sell it. Following the big screen success of his next screenplay, Scream, Columbia Pictures immediately bought I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Interesting.
Wow.
He couldn't sell this movie until Scream got picked up.
Well, I mean,
that's why a lot of people are like, it's a ripoff. It's like the same fucking guy wrote it. How could he?
But this is exactly what happened in the 80s. I mean, this is all Hollywood. Like, you get one genre this is a subgenre, right? Slasher that kicks off that, we had a huge lull in the late 80s to mid 90s of slasher flicks. It was all other than like Chucky and remakes of Halloween. And Scream kicks it off. Of course, we're gonna get new ones. Like that's
Shopping Mall, I believe, was in that time frame as well.
Would you? Oh man, that was half porno though.
That's true.
If I recall.
Awesome. We've all been here, sort of looking looking like Brendan Fraser just got dumped sitting on a cliff.
How did he even get there?
Very carefully.
How did we get here, Tawny?
Fuck. I obviously remember like the twist and kind of what happens in it, but I really don't remember like the core of the story. Like I know he's coming back and getting them one by one kind of thing, but like I just don't remember much that happens outside of the main point.
This is more or less a blind watch for me because I haven't seen it in so long.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. When I'd watched it last week with my wife, if I had ever like I knew of it, I knew what the premise was, but I don't know if I'd ever like sat down and watched the whole movie. So it's basically a first time watch.
Horns, is this
happening over 4th of July?
Yes.
Well, it's summertime.
Okay. Interesting.
Horns, tell me if I'm wrong. Do we return to this in this movie, or is it in the second one? I'm remembering
Return to what?
This little like stage audience.
We return to it in this movie because the next year, spoiler, Sarah Michelle Gellar is about to win the pageant, and the next summer she has to come back. It's like a rite of passage that the previous year's winner gives the crown to the new winner.
I do distinctly remember her killing something. This one felt like, but again, Scream 2 came out the same year, so right, like Scream 2 was immediately a year later. I just remember a similar like theater kill.
Oh, yes, that is in this one.
Okay.
My closed captions aren't on for some reason, and they should be.
Yeah,
I always have subtitles on, and my wife and I cannot feel more differently. She wants them off, and I'm like, nope, I gotta have them.
I've had this issue in Peacock before, though. Kind of frustrating.
Sarah Michelle.
I've had that problem too, where they're on but nothing shows up. I love Freddie Prinze Jr.
He's great. So Reese Witherspoon auditioned for the role of Helen, who's Sarah Michelle Gellar, and she was given the role, but then withdrew her name. She did, however, this according to IMDb, recommend her current boyfriend Ryan Phillippe for a role in the film, who was, of course, eventually cast.
Do we know why she ended up not doing it? I could definitely see her in this.
100%, I could see her.
Whatever that Mark Wahlberg movie was, Fear, I think, is what she ended up doing instead. The Mark Wahlberg debut film. A lot of controversy around the pageant this year, guys. They say the talent portion was as weak as it's ever been.
I mean,
Sarah Michelle Gellar was, of course, starring in Buffy at the time.
Did you guys ever watch Buffy? I never did.
I didn't. And I think it's like a level of camp that I just can't quite wrap my head around.
I know that people who love it, love it, like kind of thing, or got into it. Like it's a big cult following.
I watched a couple episodes with my uncle here and there, but never fully through, never enough to actually get the story or know what's going on. And I'm with Horns. I don't know that I could stomach it.
Yeah, I don't get it. I texted Cycly this last week when I was watching this movie. I'm kind of surprised Jennifer Love Hewitt didn't become a bigger star. I mean, I know she owned the late 90s, but she's actually, I think, a better actor than. Do you think she's too good looking and people just couldn't see her as an actual actress? But I guess Margot Robbie exists, so that doesn't really make sense.
Yeah,
yeah.
There's too many good looking people out there in Hollywood. It is funny, a lot of when I'm thinking about this movie in particular, the cast of this movie, how many of them were on the verge of being the next big thing? Freddie Prinze Jr. for sure. Mm-hmm. Sarah Michelle, all of in none of them. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but none of them seem to have panned out. They all had okay careers, but no one ever really took it to the next level.
The only one, to my knowledge, who still pops up in stuff is Ryan Phillippe, and he's not even in that much.
Yeah, he's probably had the most consistent career,
right?
Because I think most of these people were expected to be leading actors for a long time.
Freddie Prinze Jr. Sorry, Banner.
Oh, I was just going to say, if I'm not mistaken, Freddie Prinze Jr. and Sarah Michelle Gellar team up again in Scooby-Doo. I think that's 2000, maybe 2001.
Yeah.
Pretty
And this is again according to IMDb. I'm just going to burn through all my facts early and then get hammered drunk. Despite being part of the main cast and appearing in many key scenes together, the characters of Helen and Ray, played by Sarah Michelle Gellar and Freddie Prinze Jr., only speak to each other twice. Despite the fact that the two barely interact on screen, Gellar and Prinze became good friends after meeting, later fell in love, and were married.
That's interesting. I don't think I realized.
Wait,
they
they're
ever
married?
really-
You didn't know that?
No, I had
they've been
no
married
idea.
this long.
They've been married for like 25 years. They're like one of the Hollywood marriage success stories. They have like
That's
2 kids.
How did I
Kids.
not know this?
I didn't.
I thought you were
notice either.
joking when you mentioned Scooby-Doo.
I
No,
honestly did not notice either.
Honestly, was
Oh, really?
genuine.
Yeah, dude, they're like one of the great stories in Hollywood. They just celebrated like their 26th wedding anniversary last week or 2 weeks ago.
Damn.
Wow, good for them. That's
Yeah, let me
awesome.
send you guys the post. It's actually like really touching what she wrote. But yeah, so their characters are in almost every scene together, but they hardly ever talk, which is kind of interesting.
That's so surprising. Like, because that would be definitely something no one would have noticed until you're paying attention.
Right. Oh, sorry.
God,
On
what a
September
good-looking
1st,
couple.
Yeah, on September 1st, it was their 21st wedding anniversary. Still very impressive. I'm just going to send it to you, Cycling, since I think Ben already found it. Just if you want a nice, touching love story.
I do.
Is there anything more
always.
bro than going to the beach and you only have a sweater on, no undershirt?
Yeah, I pulled that move. Love that move.
I could see with that. So it's like I'm either going to have sweater on or I'm going to be in the water. There's no in between. I don't have layers.
I don't know. Maybe it's like a sensory thing, but I don't know that I would want to wear a sweater without a shirt in it. It'd be itchy, right?
Yeah, it's not.
Depends on the softness of the sweater, man.
Yeah, if it's Argyle, then definitely not. It is definitely like a slasher movie trope, where the kids like sit around either a campfire or like at a sleepover and they tell scary stories to spook each other. And of course, one of them inevitably ends up actually being one of the kills we see in the movie.
See, we needed a beach in our hometown. I never got this experience.
And it's only because we didn't have access to salt
Yeah.
water.
That's the only reason this didn't
Only
happen.
reason.
A girl like Sarah Michelle Gellar didn't do this to me.
Right.
God. What if
It is
so
funny,
happened?
As she's sitting here like planning out her and Ryan Phillippe's future, she even mentions like, and you after you second stint in rehab. Like, I'm just gonna pencil that in. Let's be rather be over prepared than surprised, you know?
Oh, he just said, "I'm gonna hook you." Nice call. Because that's the killer's main weapon, right? A hook.
Yes, but
Yeah.
it's not on his hand. He like carries it around. It's like in one of those. Like,
It's like a
That would be too bad. Like that would be awful. Arr!
Oh, that's where you draw the line. Okay,
Yeah.
a
that would make
sickle.
sense.
Is that what it's called?
I think so. Yeah, that sounds right. So Jennifer Love Hewitt isn't like a virgin, but she like doesn't give it up easily.
Hmm. So this movie
So-
doesn't have the trope of once you have sex, you're killed.
I don't know if I can promise that.
No.
Ray and her, the audience never really knows. Like, have you guys been dating for 4 years, or like, are
Yeah.
you just acquaintances? Because they will go from like, we're gonna like right here, they're talking about their future, and she's about to go to law school in Boston. He's like, we can make it work. And then the next scene, which is like a week later, she's like, we're not together, Ray. Like, you're smothering me. I was like, I thought we were already trying to figure out like long distance last week, and now we're not together.
They're young, man. Every day is a little different. One day you're in love, the next day you're fucking someone else on the beach.
Not. Yeah. Next day you have a UTI because you got sand up your hoo-ha.
Just terrible location. It's one of those like sex in the shower and sex on the beach sounds way more romantic than it actually is.
God, I hope I
Fucking
have
chore,
sex
man.
someday. That'd be so cool to have sex.
But then you have children if you have sex. So
And you have to be married too, obviously.
Yeah.
Sand really is the worst.
It is.
I hate
It's
it.
coarse and it's rough.
Of course, it gets everywhere.
Ryan Phillippe, this is like classic douchebag trope. He's hammered drunk and he's doing the thing like, no one fucking drives my car. And the reason we know he's an alcoholic and he's drunk cycling is because every time we look at his character, he has a bottle of liquor in his hand.
Well, that is what an alcoholic does.
If
alcoholics are very obvious about their alcoholism. They don't try to hide it for sure.
You know, like the associate director is like, but what if there's a shot where we cut to him and he doesn't have the liquor bottle?
Yeah, we won't get it.
Well, then how's the audience going to know he's an alcoholic, Rick? Did you even fucking think about that before you suggested it?
Why can't he just be a teenager who's binge drinking? Like, does it need to be like?
It's actually hard to be an alcoholic by like 17 or 18.
It'd be impressive. I would be impressed.
It can be done though.
Anything's possible through Christ.
Honestly, why is someone out there in the isolated street? Like I'm not one to victim blame, but I'm going to victim
All right.
blame.
Cycly, I have a feeling you'll find out towards the end of the second act when Anne Heche narrates a little bit.
Wearing all black in the middle of come on, man.
Yeah,
is that his blood or is that the person they hit's blood?
The person they hit.
Okay. Good. I wouldn't want to ruin that perfect face of his.
So in my head, I feel like, depending obviously on the speed and angle of the car, but like if a car were to hit you and you were to be able to prepare for it by leaping up in the air a little bit, I think it would make a big difference, right? Versus if you're just like standing in the road. Not that was an option for this guy.
I think that all the time when I'm like walking by a street, I'm like, all right, if I see a car coming at me with my 6-inch vertical, I am going to clear it. Yeah, I'll get hurt, but
no, I don't mean clear it, but I mean,
I think if you did that, you have a good chance. I think you have a better chance if you just hop a little bit of going into the windshield as opposed to getting like taking a bumper to the hip.
100%. No, I was agreeing with you. I was merely stating like I can do anything but that.
My like defense mechanism would be like I would hope so would be just like sort of trying to leap a little bit because if it only hits me like if my legs will both not snap instantly. Everything else will snap, but maybe not my legs. This is where Ryan Phillippe is like, maybe that guy was there already.
Yeah, that's not the guy we hit.
That's definitely not the guy we hit. I saw him.
Let's keep looking. That is a guy, though. You're right. See, I thought his character was an alcoholic, but he's not holding a liquor bottle right now, so I guess that's not the case.
He's holding a flashlight, which shows he has an addiction problem to like collecting flashlights, clearly.
He needs help.
This guy like clearly just got out of a cherry pie eating contest. It's July 4th, and then he passed out on the road because he was so full.
Obviously, so what we need to do is just keep it moving, you know?
How often does this happen? Like, way too often.
He probably won the contest. Look at all the cherry pie on his face, and he was celebrating. That doesn't look like someone that only ate enough cherry pies to get second.
No. All that sugar, he came crashing down.
Exactly.
Well, with his diabetes as well.
Oh, yeah. He's needs some insulin.
Which, now that I think
from
about
all the
it,
pie.
I'm gonna make a donation to the American Heart Association. What does that have to do with any of this?
Banner, you would be, if this happened to all three of us, you would be like, guys, he's fine. No, he's fine. Just ate a bunch of cherry pie. We're like, Banner, he is clearly dead. No. He's good.
So this is like the key scene in the whole movie where it's like this is the character. They basically like show you the stereotypes of each of them, like their moral compass and where it's at. Obviously, Jennifer Love Hewitt will be the sort of the eyes of the audience in this because she has the strongest moral code. Ryan Phillippe's the throwaway jock with the deep V.
I can't remember if... No, I don't want it spoiled for me.
Is she a prom queen or something? Why is she wearing
it was crown? Whatever the town they're in, they have like a 4th of July pageant every year.
That was the entire opening.
Oh, yeah. I remember now. I got it.
It's only the first 5 minutes of the film. Banner joined us late, everybody.
Yeah. I hosted, I left, and then I came back.
Guys, sorry, the storm that is hitting my house right now is like fucking category 6. I have to go unplug my inflatable pumpkin out front.
Oh.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, we don't want anything to happen to the inflatable pumpkin.
It might deflate. And then what's the point? Are you guys having storms over there, Banner?
Yeah, actually we are. It's been raining all fucking night.
Nothing crazy though, Shane.
No, nothing too bad. Nothing too bad. A little bit of lightning, a little bit of thunder. But all in all, pretty minor.
How do you think you'd be in this? I know it's like easy to say when you're not in the situation, like you obviously call the cops. So like, I really wonder how, like, because until you're in it,
definitely
my
wouldn't
front
pick up
tree
a
just collapsed in my yard, so I don't know if I can stay on the podcast.
Wait, what?
What?
Yeah, luckily it missed my house by about a foot. I didn't know this, but the lightning must have struck it or something. But a massive part of it just fell.
Did you hear a boom?
No, I didn't. But I just heard how
Holy
bad the storm. It's kind of unbelievable. I'm gonna go take pictures. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll hold down the fort, bro.
God.
Jeez.
Wow.
Back to the movie.
Yeah.
Not that that's not very exciting.
You know what I want the rest of this pod to be is like every 20 minutes, Horns just walks back in, gives us an update where things got a little more ridiculous, and then leaves.
Yes, I would love that. If I were in this situation, I can tell you I definitely wouldn't be picking up a dead body or a perceived dead body. I would not. Yeah. I would not touch it. I would honestly probably run away. Maybe do an anonymous 911 call.
It's so hard because like knowing that like the legal side of things, but that there's so much to that like logic, but to the human emotion when something happens like this, because human instinct is probably to flee no matter what you do. Like even when, especially in an accident, because you're like, yeah, and when you throw in drunk teenagers, like
yeah,
I'm not
that's
saying
the thing.
They did the right.
If I'm in that
leaving.
situation, there's 100% chance. I would say maybe not 100% chance, but there is a very high chance that I would just fucking bail, leave immediately with the body on the side of the road. Definitely not in my fucking trunk.
That's the thing. I would be like, I could see myself as a teenager drunkenly fleeing and being like, oh, let's just leave him there so he can be found. But to touch the body, because this is a whole different crime at this point. Like,
yeah,
messing with a dead body and fucking with evidence and all that kind of thing. Like, you are a different. This jumps you multiple levels of from something that's probably just like second-degree manslaughter, and you're talking about not too serious of a situation. Plus, like, really mainly for the driver, but once you leave, that's a crime in itself. But this part,
you're like aiding and abetting, right, or an accessory.
You're it's not really aiding and abetting a crime, but it's you're what's, oh my gosh, I'm the lawyer and I can't even think of the word, but basically like fleeing a scene.
Yeah.
Like to take a dead body and then do this, it's like
now you're covering something up.
See, at this point, he's clearly
again, he's not dead yet.
Yeah, at that point, why are you going for the crown? I don't. Yeah, at that point, the second he's alive, why don't you be like, he's clearly delirious and trying to like, he doesn't know what's happening. Why wouldn't you not at that point be like, hey man?
Oh, do they need the crown for next year?
Oh, maybe. And well, you know what? And two, for evidence, if that body's found holding the crown.
Oh yeah, they're not thinking about that though, right?
No, I doubt they'd be that logical. I mean, considering they're making some really poor choices, it'd be shocking if they were this logical.
I will say, okay, let's say we made all the same choices as them up to this point. I'm definitely the guy jumping in the fucking water. Right?
Well, at that point, yeah, we're committing.
Yeah.
Once you've taken the body, once you put it in the trunk, at that point you do everything you can.
Yeah.
There's, if you're gonna commit this kind of crime, you better go all out. You don't half-ass this kind of stuff. That's what guarantees your demise. All right, Horns is back. Let's see what happened.
I'll send you the picture. I mean, we were like 5 feet away from literally needing a new home.
Jeez, was it a? Ugh.
It was the big tree in our front yard.
It was the one in your front yard. Damn.
Yeah. And luckily we got it trimmed, but it fell there's 2 massive branches. One you can see it's like literally. Yeah, one is a foot from my doorstep, and the other one just happened to fall towards the street.
Is it like covering up the driveway or anything? Oh no, your driveway's on the other side. Never mind.
It's in the back, but we're gonna have to get this like collected.
Yeah, as someone who went through this about 8 months ago, you're at the point of the evening too. There's really not much you can do.
No.
Because like when ours fell, I was like, what do I do? You feel so helpless. Like I can't just go out there myself and just like fucking take this tree.
I could.
I unfortunately had one fall on the house, so that sucked.
Yeah, I guess all 3 of us have had. Yeah, mine was lucky too. Mine was like
bro tree squad over here.
Okay.
Teddy, stop.
I love a good 1 year later.
Little Fantastic Four homage.
Yeah, for real.
Damn, dude. Yeah, I'm just looking at your picture.
Yeah, wild. I didn't hear it. Luckily, I just got up at time. As long as nothing else falls, I guess we'll be good. Just got to figure out how to get that.
Man.
Holy shit, man!
I wonder if that's from like lightning.
You know what I'm seeing out of this is a dodged bullet. Your inflatable didn't get hit.
That's all that matters.
That is true. We just spent $16.
It V'd the inflatable.
The pumpkin probably has some stories to tell later.
Yeah. The pumpkin's seen some shit now.
We should get him on the pod.
I'll go get him. My life could be worse, guys. We could have killed somebody last summer and having to live with that guilt. Hang on, my wife's calling me, so I'll have to call you back. Or I'll just mute myself.
It's all right. I do like that. Like, I mean, I guess the point of the movie is to go for a year later, and the whole point is it's a summer later. But it's an interesting story to like just kind of disconnect from these people for an entire year. Yeah. Like emotionally, where their friendships were. Like, would you continue? Like, let's say this happened to me and you. Would we stay close, or would we get so paranoid? Would you move away from like friendship because you're just like, look, we cannot. Every time we're together, we're gonna think about it.
I think you become closer. I think when you go through something like that, that bond would be strong, unbreakable almost. But also, regardless of that, like these kids aren't going to be the same kids after 1 year in college, right?
No.
So, like, I know I was a completely different individual from when I entered college and left college. So, your moral compass is going to be completely different.
Oh, for sure. The thing is, the funny thing about the 3 of us being on this pod, we're some of the rare people who all went to high school together.
We did all go to high school.
16 years later, we're also really close. Whereas obviously we've all made really good friends in college and other places. But for us to still maintain this, like all of our friends that I think of in high school who were really close, no one even talks to each other anymore.
No, not at all.
Like all these friendships that I was like, oh, these people are unbreakable. Oh, this girl and this girl, they're going to be best friends forever. Like, yeah. It is pretty wild. So I could see it being a place where you're like actually don't mind not talking to someone anymore, especially once college comes around.
Yeah. But again, if you helped cover up a dead body, or it may have not been a dead body, and then you killed somebody, I don't know. I feel like that's something you're kind of tied together. Almost because you're paranoid that they're going to say something, right?
Yeah. You want to keep.
So you got to. Yeah. It's like Survivor or Big Brother. Like you got to get them before they get you.
It's true. I don't know if one of you guys mentioned this while I was muted as she opens the note. Great handwriting, by the way.
You would know it's me because it's just fucking chicken scratch.
Look, you might be threatening me. I can't fucking read this. I don't know what this says. The crazy thing about this is like this is pretty much a small town in North Carolina. And when she goes here, and I think it might even be the next scene, to try and reconnect with Sarah Michelle Gellar, She acts like she has no fucking idea even what planet this chick is on. And like, even if you didn't keep in touch with someone, just through the grapevine, you would know, okay, Sarah Michelle Gellar never went to New York. Like, she's still in the hometown working at her family's department store. Which is like, does she live on Mars? I don't know.
We grew up.
I want to play devil's advocate here. Okay. Back in 97, is it that easy to know that? Because social media wasn't a thing.
I think it is.
The grapevine has been a thing. How do you think the Underground Railroad worked, bro?
Yeah, that's true.
Think about when we went to high school. And when we were in high school, social media hadn't really started yet, because by our senior year, Facebook had really just become a thing. We went to a huge high school, like really in the entire country, one of the largest high schools. Everyone still knew, like, it's a 1 degree of separation in terms of like who got pregnant, who did what, like who OD'd. Like, I mean, it is. I do feel like too many people talk.
Yeah. No, but Brian's right. Like, nowadays you look up someone's Facebook and not know.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I would probably want to keep closer tabs on people that knew that I murdered someone than she has.
I see. I that's what Banner said too when you were on mute. I don't know if there's a part of me that would go the exact opposite way. Like, honestly, just get as far emotionally away from those people. But
guess that's true. All right, this actress, let me look her up real quick, because yes, Bridget Wilson Sampras. She is married to Pete Sampras now. They're still very happily married. Banner, do you know what other movie she is from in the 90s that we did a movie commentary on, and it's incredible?
I was about to say she looks extremely familiar. Is she the chick from Mighty Ducks D2?
Great guess. No,
I was going to say, if that's right, holy shit.
No, that's a good guess.
No, I don't know. But she looks very familiar.
Sonya Blade in Mortal Kombat.
Oh, fuck, that's right.
Like the 94 one?
Yep.
She's lost a little weight here. She looks good.
Mortal Kombat is great cardio.
Yeah.
Psyche's like, I prefer cycling versus defending the 4 realms, but yeah.
Too many decapitations for me, all right?
That was a great commentary. Check that one out, guys.
That's a good one. This is where Jennifer Love Hewitt kind of embarrassed Sarah Michelle Gellar, because she like runs in and asks her sister, like, where's your really successful younger sister who lives in New York now and is a burgeoning actress? She's like, actually, she's 14 feet to my left working the perfume counter.
Yeah.
Oh.
But
Guys,
we did just promote her to assistant manager, so that's something.
Assistant to the regional manager.
Was there a pay increase? There is not, and there's not a pay increase per se.
I have a question for you guys. The note said, "I know what you did last summer!" Exclamation point. So it's really like, I know what you did last summer. Are you guys pro exclamation point? Like, I feel like without the exclamation point, it's a little creepier. Like, I know what you did last summer. But what about a dot ellipsis instead?
Cycling, one of your defining personality traits is the way you emphatically read exclamation point. Like, they all have to be at an 11, and as a result, I'm gonna be honest, it's affected my life and my usage of them. I've used them less because of the way you read them.
They should be only used for massive exclamations.
But if you read question marks to the same degree that you read exclamation points, you would sound so perpetually confused. How are you?
I'm a big fan of the ellipsis, is all I'm saying, and I really think I know what you did last summer with the ellipsis. I don't know. It's a little creepy.
I'm an exclamation point. I exclamation point everything.
I don't. Yeah. Your whole life is an exclamation point, Banner.
You're not. Yeah, that's true. You don't have to apologize. What is the arm choker thing she has on called?
Jewelry?
Fashion? It's very 90s.
Fashion, honey. It is very. That's coming back with the choker necklace.
It is coming back. Same with like the choker necklaces.
Jennifer Love Hewitt is kind of the trope, and she's definitely this in what's the fucking movie where it's like senior year and it's like the big party and she's like the guy professes love to her. I'll look it up. But her in the overalls, it's like, okay, let's take like a 10 and let's try and just put her in like fucking unbecoming clothing and think that people will think that she's like a 5.5.
She needs glasses and boom, unattractive.
Exactly.
It's like the reverse. She's all that.
The reverse. She saw that. Let me find the movie she was in.
They really do make a good job of making her look plain.
I feel like she's never been that hard to make look plain.
Yeah, I mean, no,
Can't hardly
yeah.
look with it.
Like she's not. I'm not saying she's not attractive or not pretty, but like she's just kind of a normal.
Did you know she's a singer? Like, has done a lot of songs.
No, like in the sense,
No.
like Lindsay Lohan also did a lot of songs. Or
I don't know, like her
albums.
literally half.
I think you're getting
IMDb.
songs and coke mixed up with Lindsay Lohan.
You don't
Oh,
remember
yeah.
Lindsay Lohan's like very brief musical career?
Sort of.
Her and Hillary Duff had one.
Well, yeah. These are giant ice cubes.
Oh, so they work together now?
How do you even make an ice cube that size?
No, they work on like. Are you talking about Freddie Prinze and him, or Freddie Prinze not shown up yet?
No. Big Bang Theory and Felipe.
Philippi. No, Philippi just thinks he's the one. He thinks he's the one sending the notes, so he's like, I'm gonna go shake him down, scare him a little bit.
Again, giant ice cubes. No one else intrigued them how big these ice cubes are.
I'm not that interested. I'm curious why. Like, what are they using such big ice cubes for?
You will actually find out in the last 5 minutes of the movie.
I was hoping you were like in the last 5 minutes of the second movie. I'm like, wait, we wait that long to find
It's a big setup. Yeah, that's a big setup.
Do like
Again, they have no idea where Ray is 10 months later. Like, I love how gelled his hair is while working on that boat. I remember telling this to my wife. I was like, this is way over time. All right, time to go on my fishing boat. Let me get my LA looks out.
LA looks for me when I use it, especially in middle school, just made my hair fucking rock hard.
Yeah,
Like,
it was like a hard hat. But you never know when you're going to need to get laid. So that's what this guy's.
Yeah, especially in 6th grade.
Failure to prepare is preparing to fail.
I think I've seen that guy with the fish walk by like 4 times. See, if I was in a situation like that, I would just take one fish and keep walking back and forth. So people thought I was just carrying different fish over and over.
Look, I learned a long time ago, if you look like you're busy, people
Yep.
won't ask questions.
Yeah. And you
Work
you walk
smarter,
like you're a
not
little
harder.
angry, you know, just like a little frustration in your step. People are like, oh shit.
Yep.
Like, what do you mean he's not busy? I've seen him walking back and forth with fish all day.
That guy has carried about 70 fish.
He's probably working harder than all of us combined.
How many fish have you carried?
Look, it's not a competition. Well, if you're going to bring up his work ethic, damn right it's a competition. This is where she thinks that Ray like wants to get back together with her, and he's like, I kind of just want to talk about the murder that we did together.
So, like I said, it's been a while since I've watched this, but this has more, it's obviously development and build up. Like, again, considering this gets matched up and probably unfairly with Scream. Like, Scream starts hard, fast.
Well,
yeah.
Just so you know, the character stuff in this movie is over because literally in the next minute, the killer's about to enter, and then that's pretty much all it is for the last, hour? How much do you have left? Yeah.
That makes sense. But yeah, like, it was just like, I get it because it's teenagers and slasher, but like only in the sense that like Halloween and Freddy Krueger can be related. It's like, I mean, it's a good trope for a reason. People like, I don't know why, but dumb teenagers are easy to kill, and so it makes it for a perfect slasher.
Well,
Yeah,
I'll say
because smart
this.
teenagers are really hard to kill.
That sounds like you've experienced this.
Yeah. Is that something
Scream
you struggle
wouldn't
with?
be. Oof.
Oh, good kill.
That's
Yeah,
a
that's a
good
great
one.
kill. Scream wouldn't be clever or have anything to comment on if movies like I Know What You Did Last Summer didn't exist.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I
So is that-
believe. I was just gonna say the sickle is its only use to like pick apart the ice. Like, does it have any use as like a fisherman?
I think inspiring communism.
Oh, okay.
Sickle
Or does it like
hammer.
help cut the guts out of fish?
Yeah, I
maybe?
think you can. I think you can hook the fish like through the gill with it to like slide it towards you, maybe.
Gonna go late night boxing session.
Still got his old Letterman's jacket.
I love how like only people who are like in high school, like watching this movie, you'd be like, yeah, man, I would still wear my Letterman jacket years after high school. It's only once you leave high school you're like, yeah, high school was dumb.
Dude,
I
a
don't know why we
week after
cared so much.
graduating, that thing needs to be in a fucking closet collecting
Yep.
dust.
Until your
To
mom
this
brings it over
day-
to you 10 years later. You're like, what?
To this day, I still have trouble wearing black and red
Yeah.
because I wore so much of it in high school.
Exclusively.
Love the dog tags because clearly he served.
Why does? I feel like that was also a thing. I kind of remember kids in high school.
I kind of
with
remember
dog
that too.
tags.
It's really kind of like fucked up.
Like, do
Think
they
about
know
it.
the point of a dog tag, right? Like, if you die, it's to identify you. I always love killers who put in effort because they're not just there to. He could easily go kill you, right? Like the fact that he's writing notes, leaving pictures. Like, I
Absolutely.
appreciate that.
It's
Make
the
it a-
mental warfare.
100%. Have a little bit of a taste for sport.
You would know I would if this like these killings were happening and like I was a suspect. But the second you're like, oh, he's leaving notes and warnings. Yeah, that's not Ronnie. He's way too lazy for that.
And they could read the notes, then it's not his
Yeah, they can
handwriting.
no.
I think he's threatening me, but I can't exactly tell what these words are. You know, I noticed the sign up for sparring partners list. There's a lot of people signed up, not a lot of people signing up to spar with them. Why don't those people fight each other?
One hand, yeah. Well, you never know weight divisions. You know, like some people are a little more into it than others.
So if you start chasing a car on foot, what's the end game here? You
I
catch
was
it?
just about to say, like honestly, if you're in my car and you drive away, it's yours.
I never
You
understand
won.
this too. If a car is chasing you, go in any direction except the way the car is going.
Right.
Like
He's at least zigzagging, right?
A little bit, but just run off the side of the road
yeah,
completely.
dude,
Yeah, I
there's,
know
like,
zigzagging works with crocodiles, so maybe it'll work
and
with the car.
bow and arrows. See, he did a little leap there. Did you see that, Horns?
Yeah,
He did. And as a result,
Yeah.
he will return in the third act.
And he's fine.
Yeah, you just walked that off.
Yeah, rub some dirt on it. I have been hit by a car in college.
I was there, I think. Okay, never mind. It's a different time.
No, that was when I hit someone with my car.
Got it. That's right.
And that really wasn't hitting. That was
You got
more
hit in
like,
college?
yeah. Do you remember? I mean, I was riding my bike and I got hit by a guy on the car. Like, I
Oh,
was
that's
going to-
right.
Yeah.
You were way too easy on that guy too, by the way.
I was so nice to him. I literally didn't report him. I was just like, dude, just buy me a new bike. And then he never did. He bitched out. He was a dick, actually. A month later.
What did he
Wow.
say again? Like, what was his excuse?
He like cussed me out. Like I was like, hey, he kept telling me like, hey, I'll meet you at this. Like I literally went to the hospital, waited in the waiting room. He was with me. So like he seemed really nice when it happened. And I was like, you know what, dude, I'm probably fine. Just buy me a new bike. And this is college, dude, like an $80 bike at Walmart. And he was like, yeah, absolutely. So like a week later, we meet at Walmart, and he's like, oh, I'm sorry, someone broke into my car, and I'm like, that's cool, man. Like, I'm so sorry.
Oh, the same car that you hit me with? That's
Yeah,
convenient.
exactly. My wife was sorry, really quickly. My wife is literally standing out the window. I'm in the basement potting, and my wife is standing out the window, it's pitch black, and all of a sudden I see this face staring at me.
Oh my god.
And she's
Whoa.
smiling. She's smiling, and she's still there. She's still doing it. Anyway, long story short, basically he agrees to meet up with me again. I say, "Hey, I'm here," and then he leaves me he just cusses me out through text message, like
For
fuck
what
you,
reason?
blah blah blah.
For-
Like, oh, he was just like, oh, I'm not
for getting
gonna...
hit by my car.
Yeah, essentially. He was
Yeah,
like,
you
"I'm not
shouldn't
gonna
have been
fucking-"
biking there. Cycling.
Yeah, no, that's literally what he was like. I did nothing wrong. You're a piece of shit for trying to get me to buy you a bike and blah blah blah.
Also, like, dude, you've been agreeing. Like, you literally just like snapped and had a different personality all of a sudden.
Oh yeah, he was an asshole.
So now they're trying to figure out, all right, who the fuck is doing this? And they don't know that Johnny Galecki's character is dead, so they still think it's him.
Well, in all honesty, in a lot of slashers like this, it could be the guy who you think is dead at the beginning.
That's true. I won't then
Yeah.
mention the movie where it does that, but it's very cheap trick.
It
Some
is
movies
very cheap.
play.
Could be in on it together.
And the whole time too in this movie, you are wondering if it is one of these four.
Yeah, and again, probably
Yeah.
because a lot of I'm not trying to compare it because I do think it's an unfair comparison, but especially coming off Scream.
Yep.
Because most
Yeah.
people probably didn't know that this was written before Scream.
I didn't
didn't
know that.
it. Yeah. You always like, I think sometimes, and Jeff, you and I, big, Saw heads. Sometimes you're more connected to these movies when you know the killer. And so sometimes like I that's why, when someone's watching this for the first time, you kind of are just leaning toward the idea that it is going to be someone
Yeah.
because that makes for a better connection.
Well, that's the fun thing about the Scream movies is you sort of start trying to piece together, all right, when a kill happens, which character is not like on screen?
Yeah.
To try and put together my list of suspects. And then when
I
you
start putting together,
in Scream, you sort of start to think that there's two of them, so then it gets even harder to do.
and I'm always like, what's the height of that Ghostface killer? What?
Yeah.
How are they walking? Like I'm like trying to put whatever I can together.
So they're realizing this guy David Egan, on that same night, was found washed up in the harbor that they were in, dead.
It's a different dude, though, right?
Well, they're assuming that could be the guy that they hit and threw in the water. So he has a sister who went to their high school like 2 years before them. So they're going to drive out to see her and see what she can tell them about his death. And his sister is played by Anne Heche. Rest in peace.
Anne Heche is dead?
Yeah, she died 4 months ago, I think.
What?
Yeah, she was like
yeah.
on pills and crashed her car into like a tree.
Why am
Yeah.
I not remembering this? Huh. Yeah, it was a year ago.
Oh, it was? Okay.
Yeah. That's surprising. I mean,
Always
maybe
love
I
when,
don't remember.
When Thrasher movies like this mention a serial killer.
What do you mean, Benner? Like, sorry, maybe I misheard you.
Like she just said, Jodie Foster did this one time, and they ended up like walking in on a serial killer.
Oh,
It's like-
okay. Yeah.
Why is there a mirror outside?
Sometimes when you're cutting wood, you got to make sure that you look good.
She also looks familiar.
Anne Heche?
Yes. Yeah. Anne Heche is one of those actresses, though, that I feel like I know who she is, but I'm never like, oh, that's fucking Anne Heche.
But I don't know who she is.
You know,
You know?
And you'll tell me that, and I'll watch this movie a few weeks later. And I'll be like, who is that again? Oh, yeah, that's right.
She's also never looked outside of the ages of 34 and 51.
Yep.
Like she looks 34 years old here, and she died at probably 64, and she looked 51 years old.
Well, she lived a decently long life then.
Bet she had a lot of fun.
Yeah. Like a fireplace in literally the middle of the room.
That way it heats the whole room.
Yeah,
you
That's
know.
that's a
whole
good.
room.
Yeah.
It's like a campfire.
So they're putting on like the worst con of all time. Their car is broken down. And obviously the Slicker, which is, if you live in like the Northeast and someone has a Slicker and that's what you're going to pin a murder on them for, you're going to be running through a long lineup of suspects.
Do you live alone? Yeah, that's not weird.
This would never work. Like, this will never work again. Like my car died. Can I use your phone? Because like everyone has obviously cell phones now. They'd be like, get the fuck out of my house, you freak.
My car died, but also, funny enough, my cell phone's life was dependent on that car. So they're both dead. I hate when that happens. I mean, again, I do appreciate how like horror movies have had to adapt to modern times. You know, like cell phone. So the cell phone has to die or service because of a storm. Like we have to adapt.
This is her and her brother. He was so fun when he was alive.
So I really actually don't remember this. Like, is she aware? You don't have to answer this. I don't want you to answer.
And
I just
Haiti's
don't
character?
remember. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she knows something is up. There. No, I don't want to spoil too much.
No.
But
It's kind of fun revisiting these films. Like I've only seen maybe twice at most.
Yeah.
Every few years, because it doesn't like stick in your brain. Like it's
No,
like,
yeah. Especially like the minutia stuff. Like you remember like some big moments, but like this, you might not. What her character's involvement is. She is, of course, like willing to give them more information. Like normally, if someone was like, "Can I use your phone?" Also, tell us about your dead brother who was dead.
Wait, what?
Maybe just dial the towing company.
Do you think if we like went the next 60 years of our lives without re-seeing Saw, would we forget and watch it again? Because I would love to forget that whole movie and rewatch it for the first time.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we'll never forget the twist, which is like the part you want to read. Someone asked me once, or it was like a one of those like would you rather questions, and it was like if you could forget or like rewatch a movie again for the first time with that knowledge. And you know what I actually think I said was The Dark Knight.
Just like, yeah, that would be good too. I mean, there's definitely part of me like I would love to go reread Harry Potter with nothing on my brain, like just that whole erased. So I would say like in terms of like cultural phenomena, like Saw for me would be up there. Like
Definitely.
just rewatching that first one.
I think my 3 would be the end twist in Saw, which is still the biggest what the fuck moment I've ever had in theaters. The Dark Knight theater experience, just to see that Heath Ledger performance, and then of course the portal scene in Avengers Endgame.
Just completely.
Mine, yeah. I agree. Saw is up there. Portal scene is up there. I would love to not know, Luke, I am your father.
That would be cool because I think we all knew it as kids.
We never got to experience that.
No, we didn't.
As a big twist because it was already a thing by the time we were born.
Yeah, that's a good one. I said Harry Potter 2 banner when you were gone.
Ooh, yeah, Harry Potter would be a good one. Now, I actually wish on Harry Potter that I would see the movies without have read the books.
Really? Because that's interesting.
Or like, because you've read the books, there are obviously things that they changed, and there's some things I'm like, I wish they hadn't changed that, or they did change this. So that way you don't have that preconceived notion in your brain.
See, yeah, I would like to just clear my mind of all of that. That would be a fun topic for an episode, guys. We should do something like that where we really think about that.
That would be cool.
The old high school best friends, just not as close as they used to be.
Well, I mean, maybe let her run the fucking aux cord for a little while, you know? Oh my God.
We always had that rule. Like, whoever was in the front seat was in charge of the music. You had hand over the iPod. I had that red and black case. I don't know why. That's such a distinct memory on my iPod.
Oh, yeah. I do remember that, actually.
The radio in my first car didn't work, so I had a boombox plugged into it.
Pretty sick.
Jeff and I spent many nights in his Sunfire and my Civic. Those were. I wonder what those cars are up to right now.
God, they're probably destroyed.
Fucking
I like
Astros.
to think they're still out there. You know.
I hope so. Yeah, so her dad is either a drunk, hates her, or both.
Yeah, I think it's got to be both.
Yeah. Maybe I'm just lazy, but I just drink straight out of the can, I would say 98% of the time.
Yeah, if I'm going to put it in
she didn't even pour a whole glass.
There's going to be ice in it if I do that.
Like 2 drops of pop. Like, what the hell?
What's worse, getting murdered or the Orioles blow this game in the 8th?
God.
Oh, definitely the Orioles. I got more money riding on that.
Exactly. I have no money riding on me not getting murdered.
Probably should.
In those boots, wouldn't you think he would be louder on that hardwood floor?
It's a good point. It's weird. He's like, I'm gonna go in the room before the murder. I wonder if he walks in there like, oh man, I thought you were already in here. I was gonna kill you now. I don't have to hide.
They're not actually boots. They're wrestling shoes. They're just black, really tall wrestling shoes. So they're perfect for being silent around the house.
Yeah. He's actually got a match right after this. So if we could get this thing done by like 8:30.
Well, he signed up for the sparring partner in the boxing ring.
Yeah, he saw. The real thing that was just an actual travesty in this town. Yes, people kill people and just walk away, but no one has a sparring partner at the gym. So we know she's a cheerleader and an ice skater cycling because those things that she has hobbies of are hanging up in her room.
Oh, yeah. Well, where else would you keep your ice skates?
Right. Listen, I have to go to Mortal Kombat in 10 minutes, so if you could keep it down.
Lava lamp, love that. 90s, baby. Pretty sure my lava lamp is still in my childhood bedroom because my parents don't get rid of anything.
Nice.
There's no way it still like works, right?
Oh, I
was gonna say, does a lava lamp ever like stop working?
I'm pretty sure I never really used it all that often. It's probably the original light bulb in there.
Pretty sick.
Got that thing at a bar mitzvah.
Wow.
Also stole a yarmulke the same day.
The fuck, dude? They could be listening.
They probably are.
So the pageant is the next day, and she, like I might have mentioned earlier, she has to show up as the reigning queen to pass off the crown. And her sister needs her to work inventory at the department store. And she's realizing my life has not turned out at all the way I thought.
She's 19 years old. A has-been.
Inventory. That's what needs done at the store.
If you're pageant queen, guys, what's worse than getting murdered? This.
Inventory?
No, you're about to see what happened to her. But yeah, inventory is probably worse too. Kill me now. Ugh.
I do feel bad sometimes about the people who definitely peaked in high school.
I'm right here.
Yeah,
man.
Banner,
you most definitely your peaking is about 30 years away. I think you're good.
Oh, thanks.
He's like, I didn't sleep with this on, not tonight at least.
Oof.
So did he cut all her hair?
No, she's getting old, dude.
It's not. Yeah, she's stressed.
What's that gonna accomplish?
Yeah, all that's gonna do is hurt your hand.
The killer's gonna see it and be like, "Fuck, my plan is thwarted." She punched the mirror.
No, wait.
I miss the old cordless phone. Although I think I might even more miss the corded phone.
God, I remember. Again, our generation is like we had it all. We experienced everything. I remember
Did you guys have like the rotary dial phone?
No, I missed that one.
All I can remember is I had to have been 3 or 4 or 5 years old. I don't know, but it's definitely an early memory. There might have been one phone left in my parents' house. Like everything else had moved on. And I just have a distinct memory of it. And then that's really all I have. Never
Dude, I had
remember
phones
using
way
it.
later than you guys did then. I had like a phone in my room when I was like a freshman.
Oh, I
high
never had
school.
a phone in my room.
Did
get a cell
did you
phone
did
in
you have your own
8th, 9th
line that
grade.
shared the internet?
No.
No, we
I
only had
never
one
got
line.
that. Yeah.
Oh, we had a second line that was like the kids line for a while, and it shared the internet line.
Oh,
Back
wow.
when
That's
internet
nice.
went through the phone line.
And your siblings would just like fucking open the phone and
You.
just to fuck with you. Ah.
That's Johnny Galecki from Big Bang Theory.
Guess he
Wouldn't you
has
smell
scraps.
that before you opened it?
Yeah, I think she started to smell something is why she pulled over. She was like mysteriously looking into the back seat. I was like, what the fuck is that? Did she just run in her house? Like, that's kind of rude.
Yeah, didn't even knock.
Yeah.
He has crabs.
Too bad. I think Ryan Phillippe was about to lay wood before she came in there.
It's like
He's like, we get it. You have a spare tire. We're gonna rub it in. I love the unreliable narrator trope, and by love it, I mean it can get very annoying. Because now we're like, is she crazy? Because I saw that too.
Yeah, how does he clear it out so fast? Do we ever learn that?
I mean, he's a fisherman, right? So like,
he doesn't detail cars. He's not us that summer at Lexus.
God. Turned down a job for you. I hope anytime you wonder how close of friends we are, I turned down a job at the Gap so I could work with you at Lexus.
Holy shit! I've never known that, Cycly.
You don't remember that, really?
No, I don't.
I got hired at the Gap, and you're like, dude, we both got hired at Lexus. I was like, all right. I was excited about like a cushy job at the mall, but
I was gonna say I love how we're like we both got hired at Lexus. Like I couldn't have gone and probably gotten a job.
you probably could have just gotten a job at yeah. Should instead of saying like, hey, let's be outside in 110 degrees all summer. Hey, you go apply to Gap, and you and I work in air conditioning.
Dude, that would have been such a more cush job. Although Lexus gave us a
lot
of hours, which was kind of cool.
I would just drive one of the Lexus loaner cars for like hours on end and then come back.
Remember I backed one into like a pole?
Yep. I'll never forget your face when you walked out of there.
Although I did get lucky because the car I backed into a pole was not a Lexus. It was like the one car that was like a shitty. It was like a Buick or something.
And it was when they were. It was a used car for sale. Yeah.
So again, they're all turning on each other, guys. I mean, they were never like a tight knit group to begin with, but this has really pitted them at each other's throats.
I don't know. They all had sex on the beach. I mean, once you have sex on the beach together, you're bonded for life.
That's true. That's how we all met. Sarah Michelle Gellar is wearing that hat, of course, to hide the real murder, which is her fucking hairdo.
I was just like, put your hair back. You'll look fine.
Or own it.
Or own it. She's hot enough. It's like Regina George and Mean Girls. Like with the second, like they cut.
Yeah, it'll become the fashion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're that hot, it doesn't matter.
Nothing matters.
Lincoln Park.
Another rest in peace.
All right. To the entire band. Not just Chester, right? Is that his name? Yeah.
The one in Saw 7.
That's right. Saw the final chapter, Saw 3D.
saw 3D.
I'm so fucking confused by that.
We all are. Ryan Phillippe is like, I have no idea what's going on, but I'm imagining a possible threesome because I'm in the bed with both of you right now, and if Freddie Prinze Jr. could just leave.
Or stay. It's been a long.
It's fine as long as we
summer.
don't make eye contact.
They're all on the verge of getting murdered. It's like, you know what? Fuck it. Who cares at this point?
Ray's like, look, I like the plan, but I can't leave the boat. That natural sea breeze is doing wonders for the body and my hair. You see this? I've been using less and less product by the week. At this point, I might be able to cut out LA looks for good by the fall. I love how Ryan Phillippe
so they just gave him an ultimatum? Is that what she was doing?
Yeah, I mean, they're sort of at the point now where they're like, if this guy is actually doing the murders, like, we need you to be all in on catching him. I know that fishing is such a lucrative business.
First profession in the world.
They'll just let Ryan Phillippe sit on this float because he said, look, I think a murder might happen. Oh, yeah, do whatever you need to do then.
How did her hair get fixed?
Wig.
Oh, okay.
This movie doesn't have flaws, Banner. They would.
No, I actually think
those
she's.
kind of things.
I don't know if they mentioned it, but I think she's like wearing a wig, like her character is. I could be wrong though. The wig is canon.
Is that a different crown? It looks much bigger.
Yeah, it might be. Does
It's
anyone
not in a dead guy's hand.
have more depth in their roster of sweaters than Ryan Phillippe's character?
I have a pretty good sweater game on my. But why? Again, it's also July on the beach. Why is he wearing a sweater?
Fashion over comfort, I think.
I got the biggest compliment, like that. Like in my bocce league, there's a really like a 21-year-old, fucking cooler than any of us could have ever been. And especially in the winter league, he was like, "Bro, you got a sick crew neck game." And I was like, "Thank you." That meant so much.
As an adult,
I called my wife. Yeah, because my wife always makes fun of me because I only wear like exclusively crew necks in the wintertime. And I was like, "Did you hear that? He thinks I'm cool with my crew necks."
And he knows. He's like, "Why did you always pick Duke in the brackets? You fucked me up." Oh, baby, I'm sorry.
The Duke, the football powerhouse.
Like, I'm going to bring a yearbook now, and then we'll discuss the murders. Hey, this is your brother. Remember the one that was murdered?
I would love
bring his yearbook.
I would love for her to go back and be like, "My car broke down." Again
in the exact same spot. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so the reason she is here, someone came by her Aunt Haitia's house after her brother was murdered, claiming to be a friend of her brother's, and I think he said his name was Billy Blue, and she said they like kind of hooked up while he was comforting her, and they think Billy Blue might be the one murdering all them. So she's going to bring a yearbook, because obviously that is a nickname, Billy Blue, or a porn star, and she's going to see if Anne Heche can identify Billy Blue in the yearbook to them. Also,
I'm glad you explained that, because I didn't get any of that.
But she also realized she forgot to get her signature, and she's like one away from the whole class being signed in there.
She's like, "You didn't write Hags in my yearbook."
Yeah, now Hackus, don't write that, because my mom knows what Hackus means, and she gets pissed. And hey, quick question: do you have any other outfits? Because that's the same one you had on 3 weeks ago.
This girl looks familiar.
Not falling for it.
I always like looking at my like elementary yearbooks, and every time I visit my parents, and I like people wrote their phone numbers, I was like, I should call them.
Hey, you wrote your number in my yearbook. I was just calling to follow up, so if you want to hang out this summer.
It's only been
we're
25
now?
years.
Yeah.
You asked me to have a kick-ass summer.
So you're telling me the offer doesn't still stand to hang out?
Yeah, this is bullshit.
That fish float, very well done.
Yeah, the way that the mouth moved, I was impressed.
Yeah.
That could be any fisherman. What is she so scared of?
Guys, I don't think that's a sickle.
It's not all about you. What do you think?
What is it, Banner?
I don't know, but I don't think it's a sickle.
Now she shouldn't be cutting this outside, right? Bugs are gonna get on this. Like these won't be edible.
Well, that's what the smoke is for.
Hey, while you're cutting up fish, you want to look at this yearbook? No.
The sickle would also be an actual sickle. I'd know was definitely used for like straw and shit like that. Like
yeah, and that's like an ice
farming,
pick, like an ice hook.
But also, well, what about those hay bales? Those hooks that goes into hay bales because those things are fucking insanely heavy. Would you use that too?
I don't think you could get. I don't think you can get it moving.
When you made of
faster.
money? God.
But you know, there'd be two people.
Is this? I thought that was an outhouse. Like she has a lot of like.
Yeah, what is this?
Yeah, I'm
extra
confused.
shed.
What's her profession?
And
Well,
also, how is she okay?
And why did she keep that note in that shed?
Did you notice
Where else would
no
you keep
exclamation point? Guys,
Well, this
no
one
exclamation
sounds
point.
like they fucked. It said, "I will never forget last summer." Like that was a relationship. She's like, and then he drew up. Dick pics don't exist yet, but he drew his dick and put it in there. Well, pretty romantic, if you ask me.
He made sure to add the ball hair.
That's the
ball
key.
hairs, they're different. I rewatched that, by the way, a few months ago.
Did it hold up?
It held up. I forgot how seriously they took it. Like
that's what made it so funny.
That's what made it so funny.
Made it like it was authentically a murder mystery. It was great.
No, like yeah. Part of the intrigue, actually, a big majority of the intrigue was like who actually did this, who did draw the dicks. That's where Banner got that 100%.
100%.
I love that. That is probably that, and then Only Murderers when he goes, "What can't dips do?" Those are my two favorite quotes from TV shows.
It American Vandal, whether you like it or not, you can't like even if it's not your thing because you know it's fake. Incredible writing to do what they did on that story.
When they do the reenactment of if that guy could have gotten a hand job on the dock at summer camp.
The graphic of it.
I would say like you won't if you rewatch it, you're not gonna just sit there and rewatch it. But it was fun to like I put it on in the background while I did things, and I had a great time rewatching it.
Did you do the second season or just the first season?
Yeah, I did. I like the second season.
I've never watched the second season.
The poop one, it's pretty funny.
Yeah,
it's pretty funny. This is when like it doesn't take itself as seriously. I don't feel like
it's a little slower, but
it is a little slower.
You do get a definitive answer, which we don't really get.
Is there any connective tissue? Is it like at the same school or something?
No, it's like it's like Netflix. It's so meta, dude. Netflix discovers their Who Drew the Dicks documentary, and so Netflix like picks them up, and they get letters from all these schools, and then they decide like this like who made everyone shit themselves like was an intriguing story, so they went there.
Pretty cool.
Because they like suspend some kid, and they're like he's innocent.
Got it. The plot hole in this scene is that I don't remember when Sarah Michelle Gellar was doing the pageant, although I guess it wasn't the talent show portion. But they didn't have the previous year's winner on stage awkwardly watching them.
Yeah, that is weird. Also, what are you supposed to do while you're up there?
Yeah, what do I do with my hands? Cycle, I think this was the scene you were referring to.
Yes, this is a scene I'm referring to. Also, why does this guy get the only access to the balcony? Because in the very beginning of the film, it was
all
the three friends
them.
only had access to the balcony. No one else is allowed at the balcony?
His ticket says balcony access.
It's an extra.
Also, although I think it was the last Scream did kind of pay homage to this scene. Remember the one where the killer had like cameras set up like on like a loft area?
That's exactly what I was thinking of with this scene was like, because in the second one, there's like the main climax of the film takes place in a theater.
Dude, we need to get these fish hats.
I would love one of those fish hats.
Yeah, Brian's gonna rock.
Now I'm wondering when Scream 2 came out. I thought it was a year later. Yeah, no, Scream 2 was 97.
Was it the same writer, I wonder? Probably not. There's no way he could write that many scripts that fast.
Well, if he had this one written already. Yeah, Kevin Williamson.
Really? Did he do I Still Know What You Did Last Summer? There's no way.
Let me see. I'm on his. He did not.
Okay, good.
Interesting. He here's his filmography. Scream. I know what you did last summer. Scream 2. Halloween H2O.
Love that
Faculty.
one. Did a commentary on that.
Scream
Start with-
3. Scream 4. Scream the TV show. Sick that you and I watched. Horns.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Scream 6 and the Georgetown Project. Now there's other things in between, but that not things I've heard of. Like
Damn. So
teaching,
I like all of his shit pretty much.
Teaching Miss Tingle. I have no idea what that is. Television credits, ones we know: Dawson's Creek, Vampire Diaries. There's other stuff he's done. I just don't know it. But yeah, no, pretty. That's pretty respectable. Because when did I Still Know What You Did Last Summer come out? Horns.
Very soon. I think it was like literally a year and a half after this.
Okay. It was incredible in the 90s that and Saw did this, but probably to less quality. Pump these movies out so fast.
Yeah.
Like even Harry Potter, at least the first two came out within a year, and then they started doing 1.5 year breaks.
Yeah, I Still Know What You Did Last Summer was 98.
Yeah, so a year later.
So the very next year.
Yeah. Although this movie, at least the filming schedule, I read on a fun fact, only took 50 days.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah. It is.
I feel like back then, like that wasn't that was a normal thing back then.
Yeah.
Like nowadays they're so fucking long. Like first off, movies are just longer now, and it's
we are literally, by the way, funny enough, 2 years to the day, I believe, from Batman 2.
Like it's coming out in 2 years?
Yeah, to the day.
Oh wow.
It's like, I mean, that's a 4-year break or 3-year break. We got 3 Lord of the Rings. Obviously, they were filmed at the same time, so it's a little different. But it's still 10 hours worth of film that came out within 2 years, essentially.
Yeah, it's crazy.
01, 02, 03.
Oh, I think it's Scream 6 also that takes homage from this, where she's trapped in the back of the cop car.
Oh yeah. That is Scream 2.
That's Scream 2?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if it was I thought it was like the brand new one.
That might happen again. But Scream 2, you and I did that. Remember when Neve Campbell like goes right over him? And then she runs to the theater. It is interesting though, now that we know it's the same, right? I did not realize it was the same guy. So we get to
He's kind of
now I get why people compare these movies, because like it is an unfair comparison, but like you're seeing a murder take place when you're locked
I don't
up,
think she would have been able to kick that fucking window.
So I'm pretty sure she couldn't do it. No, there's
no fucking way, right?
It was a pretty solid hills though, guys. It's so funny, like the early age of the internet, like seeing the way that they would have to research. And that
would have taken 6 years to load. Also,
exactly.
Oh yeah,
way too
she would be
times.
dead by the time it loaded. So let's have this debate real quick. Do you prefer your killers like super athletic and like tough to like evade, or do you prefer them like Jason Voorhees or like this guy where they're just like very methodical and it's almost like scarier sometimes when they like slowly walking towards you?
I like them being human. I like that. Like I love Ghostface. I love the Strangers when they clearly have weakness. They slip. They're still methodical in the sense of like they're evil, even in the midst of all the pain they take. Like where like Michael Myers is just like almost too methodical, mythical. I don't know, Banner. What do you think?
Yeah, I like when there's a little bit of a fight to it, you know, a little athleticism.
Like
but I don't hate this though. No, I love Ghostface.
I don't hate it, Ghostface, but if I have to pick,
yeah.
Like again, Horns and I mean, and Banner, you too. Like we love Saw. The guy's fucking cancer patient, wheezing, sitting on a hospital bed half the time. Like, and we still, you know, like every time we watch a Scream movie, we're watching Ghostface like get hit in the head and fall over dramatically.
Yeah, that is
I
one thing
enjoy
I
that
love
one.
about Ghostface. He's not perfect. He kills just like you or me, you know?
Yeah, like he's like one of us.
One stab at a time.
Like I mean, the thing is like watching a Michael Myers or Freddy Krueger or whatever. It's like it does take you a little bit out of it, and I think that is also the point.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
They're so evil. What can you do?
Oof. Well, she's gonna miss Mortal Kombat this year, I think.
Damn, she was a top seed too.
Mm-hmm. That's why you work hard to get that buy.
Guess she didn't have the guts to survive. That was inspired by Austin Powers.
It'll never be head of a major corporation.
Major corporation.
So I just looked this up. Jennifer Love Hewitt is only 44 years old. And
so she can still get it.
Absolutely. And Sarah Michelle Gellar is only 46. I thought they would both be like 50s.
Yeah, I thought they were way older than that.
And I don't think either of them, I mean, based on what I just saw, have not had like plastic surgery. So they were smart to think the long game.
It is so obvious. Like, I don't know who these people think they're fooling when they have plastic surgery. It's so
like
bad.
Courtney Cox, for example.
Dude, age gracefully, man. I have nothing wrong with being like looking like a 50-year-old actor and being like, dude, that girl can still get it.
Dude, Helen Mirren is a gilf.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Diane Lane.
I do love the respect here that he put a tarp over his head.
Yeah. Again, I respect a killer who cares about his craft. He could have easily just killed her. He's like, no, I'm going to just...
No, he already cut her hair, wrote on her mirror with lipstick. Like, he's been fucking with... She's the one that he really wants to, like, enjoy, because he's been fucking with her probably the longest.
Yeah. And he was respectful enough to use her cheap lipstick, because that stuff...
It's expensive, man.
Yeah. It's like he's not a monster.
No.
She's got to get that shit imported.
I was looking at it like the first time I saw the movie, trying to think like at a department store, like this is like a Dillard's or a JCPenney. What is the application of this thing?
Was it an old like? What is this?
It's like an elevator, right? Elevator? To get from the like a freight elevator.
Like why do we have? Why is it that?
She put like
things called stairs,
like pallets on there, and then like move more merchandise from the top to the bottom, maybe.
Right, but why is it done with a rope?
The olden days.
Yeah, it's a small town, man. They don't have a lot of money.
They were Amish.
Yeah, you don't have the permits, the city permits to have a real one.
That's what it is, city permits.
Yeah, electrical grid can't handle the load.
Cycling, this reminds me of the Scream 6 scene where they try and go across between the two houses.
The two houses, yeah.
That was a great scene. And I think that was one of our favorite scenes when we did our review of that film.
Yeah, that was an awesome scene. A lot of tension there.
So at this point, it could still be Ray, right? Technically?
Definitely.
The problem is she's running without her high heels. And if Jurassic World showed us anything, you need high heels to run away from anything attacking.
Better traction.
She did have her high heels on when she broke the window. I did notice that.
That's true. See?
So what happened to her shoes now?
That was probably their last effort, was smashing that window in.
They went out on a high note.
This, again, Scream 6, the most recent Scream, takes a lot from this movie.
This is interesting. You're right.
Well, the concept of like on the subway where like everyone is just sort of distracted and you can kill someone in plain sight.
Yeah.
That's kind of what this is right here. Like the loud noises in the parade, and he's like, I'm just going to literally murder you 10 feet from the spectators. But they're all so fucking doing their own thing, and it's so loud that they literally can't hear me. Now, that might be a bit of a stretch to say that it's like too related, but considering the same guy was involved with both franchises, I feel like it's at least one is inspired by the other.
Yeah, 100%.
I think so.
It's one of those situations too, inspired, or when you have a good idea, you have a good idea, and you just keep it going, right? Like it works in these kind of films. And I do think like when people, like a lot of people will walk, they're like, oh, it's so unrealistic. They're surrounded. No, actually, to me, that makes it more realistic because I'm sure we talked about it on that Scream pod, but like there were stories of like a woman getting murdered in New York. This is a true story. And people put their heads out of the apartments, hearing her scream, getting murdered, and no one called the cops. Multiple people saw her, but everyone interviewed afterwards, like they assumed someone else called the cops. They assumed.
Oh yeah, there's got to be a name for that phenomenon.
It is. I can't like. I remember learning about this in law school. It's like it is a thing, and so that's why they always say like, no, you call no matter what. But like yeah, like in a plain sight thing, sometimes it actually is better.
Because people almost like don't believe what they're seeing. Like, there's no way that guy's like stabbing that chick, right?
You don't want to assume. It's like seeing someone in a situation where you don't expect to see them. You're like, your mind doesn't let you believe what you saw.
Oh shit! Billy Blue is the name of the
boat.
You're
Billy Blue, you mother! You fucked Anne Heche. I just went down on her.
It's like, but why would? But that was the one thing that I think wasn't ever really believable for me. Is like, why would they were all in the car together? So what would his motivation be?
To fuck Anne Heche?
I mean, I guess
that one.
Who was that again?
This is the new gag on the podcast.
I will never accept to know who Anne Heche is.
So now she's just blindly getting on somebody's boat, like a stranger's boat?
This is the equivalent of going upstairs and taking a shower when a murder is coming after you. It's like, why would you get on a place that has no escape?
Especially because the guy just knocked out the only person you know within like a 4-mile radius. Here's his shrine.
I honestly feel like I want to just, for no reason at all, and have nothing be connected, staple a bunch of random newspaper clippings on my walls. And then when I die, everyone is just like, what the fuck does it mean?
The police are like, we can't make any correlation between these news articles.
But they're going to keep trying. But in reality, there was literally just random.
Just wasting tax dollar money.
Actually, I'll fund that investigation. That's not a waste to me. All right, here's Bobby Egan's little necklace, if you remember from the opening scene. So the stupid kind of correlation. This is Bobby Egan's dad, who was depressed, jumped off the cliff, killed himself. And his dad was walking home after discovering his body and got hit by them on the road, and they left him for dead, but he didn't die.
That's for Banner. I think this is when you were dealing with your tree issues. But if you're gonna just go all in on killing someone and disposing of the body, just make sure you killed them.
Yeah.
Like, once you did what they did, like there's no like levels to it, right? It's murder.
You committed the crime. You've gone all in.
So it's not like, well, if we make sure that he's dead, we're horrible people. Like, no, that ship has sailed.
Because he literally woke up right before they kicked him down in the water. So, like...
Yeah, he grabbed her.
Yeah.
Wow, Butterfingers.
Jeez, need some receiver gloves on her.
There's no way he got that with one crank. There's no fucking way.
It's a Yamaha, Brian. It only needs one crank. All right, now we're going to see...
Oh, that's a good idea. Let's go in the cage.
Yep. So the ice all down here, which is what they chopped those big ice blocks into that Cycly was asking about earlier. On set, it was actually made with gelatin so that Jennifer Love Hewitt could crawl around in it for multiple takes. I guess we haven't got to the ice yet.
So maybe she's not a method actor. God, disgusting.
No, I know. That's the one real weakness in this performance.
Why did he jump like that? Why didn't he just pull it up next to it?
Because it's cool as fuck, bro.
Yeah, dude, what the fuck, Banner? Really?
Brian, you want to act like if you saw the netting, you wouldn't be like, actually, let me pull like 6 feet away from
the
the boat
guy
and
who
leap on the
slides
side.
into first is going to complain about that. Like...
Yeah, I'm with Banner. Like, what's your plan now? Okay, he's distracted, and you've just trapped yourself.
It was like I didn't think this through.
This is like Tucker and Dare versus Evil. Where it's like these stupid fucking kids. Like, why?
All these kids keep committing suicide on the property. Have we done a commentary on that?
Tucker and Dale?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Because we should.
I believe it's on
That's-
Peacock as well.
Yeah, that's way too much of a cult classic for us not to.
I like that one, but I don't think I like it nearly as much as you do.
It ends. It doesn't. The last 20 minutes is not as good, but the film itself is just.
I mean, the premise alone is pretty genius, though, and very cycly.
Yes, too much.
Freddie Prinze
it's
can
the
take
fun-
a punch.
I was gonna say the funny thing is this whole time she is like dramatically escaping, but again, she put herself in this trap, so it's hard for us to have too much sympathy for her.
Yeah, and then she got her friend killed.
He took
Although
it,
he's
like you
gonna
said,
climb. He's gonna climb back up. Yep. See.
Oh, look at the dude. This guy is Brian Banner. He probably wanted to be knocked off just so he could grab the net.
That is something I would do.
Did she move the barrel away from the door?
Yeah, I think so.
And why?
Maybe she's gonna try and trap him in there. Maybe, I don't know.
Oh, okay. This looks fun. I could do this.
I would have kicked my shoes off at that point.
Yeah.
Especially those boots, they're all waterlogged. That'd be heavy.
Yeah.
Gotta wear Allbirds, man. They're
So
Waterproof.
light.
Yeah.
All right, here comes the ice scene is coming up right here. By the way, the gallows of this boat are fucking massive.
Yeah, this isn't that big of a boat.
They make it look like it's like a fucking yacht.
Yeah.
did you guys see the last James Bond?
I did not.
Fantastic,
Leela.
by the way. You guys should watch, but
Yeah, I've been meaning to. I'm just so far behind on that summer's movies.
you should just watch it on its own. Like you don't need to like. The ending is incredible.
That's what I heard.
All right, so we're at the ice now.
Yep. So I don't know what her plan is. Like shovel ice in front of the bottom third of the door, and
As in cold igloos and ice. Either of you can get that reference. I'll give you $5.
Cold igloos. Hang on.
We've done a commentary on it.
Yeah, Cool Runnings.
Nice. Oh, that is.
Oh, there's your friend.
Oh, so
I don't know.
he's saving all his friends?
Yeah, you want to maybe later they'll have them. I don't know if these boats typically have this much ice underneath them and how they keep that cold for so long.
Yeah, especially when it has
it's
wooden
bizarre.
walls.
Right. There's no
It's not good.
insulation here at all.
Yeah.
Like to me, you would only fill it up like right before you went out on a fishing expedition, which clearly this guy is not planning on doing. Tonight's murder night. It's been on the calendar for months.
Yeah, but the point to Banner, like, you wouldn't put the wood. Like, you'd at least have some barrier between them. Moisture and wood don't get along well.
What a shot.
Oh! That was
What
a
a
Kevin
shot.
McAllister in the house.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah.
And then he swings down. Dude, he's getting pretty cocky, I gotta be honest. He's like parkouring all over this boat.
See,
He's got a
why isn't
sweater
she
on,
still
too.
suspicious of him still? Because to her knowledge, she doesn't know that he,
Dude, this guy can take a hit. He gets hit by a fucking car, and then they try and drown him, and he lives. He just got smoked in the face with a crane.
Well, I don't. You're right about all that, but I don't think he got hit by the car. That was Ryan Phillippe, right?
No, at the beginning of the movie. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're talking about gotcha, the killer.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
killer.
Yeah, that's why it's a joke that they think this kills him.
ouch.
That's fine. That's 4 to 6 weeks.
Hey, let's give him a hand for his effort.
You're on fire tonight.
I got to put my fist down on this one, cycling.
Hands down. Great kill. He'll never be the hand of the king. I'm sorry, I'm done. You gotta hand it to him though.
Okay, I knew you weren't done.
Yeah.
Me had one.
I'll hand it over to you guys.
Jesus Christ.
Like, I'm not going to point the finger at anybody.
Yeah, I was waiting for someone to say something about point the finger.
Sorry, I had to, guys. I'm actually really intrigued in the sequel. I remember who was the murderer in this, but I didn't remember how it went down, which was nice. And I almost remember nothing from the sequel. Horns, you just watched it. Like, does that hold up, or did that like collapse? Within being made a year after this.
The sequel is like trashier than this in a lot of ways, so that's fun. And the sequel, it takes a while getting in, like an hour and a half, but then there's like a ton of kills in like 20 minutes.
I don't think I've ever seen the second one.
It's not great. It gets worse as it goes on, but it's a fun slasher.
I feel like we definitely should just do a blind watch of I Always Know What You Did Last Summer.
I'm down.
Which I appreciate that title because clearly they were desperate for. That doesn't even make sense.
I'm sure. I wish I could have seen the ones they rejected.
Yeah. Oh,
I never knew what you did last summer.
Yeah.
I think I know what you did last summer.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't you? So this is now we're 2 years removed. Then when does the second one take place?
Or is this setting up the second one?
Immediately after this scene, actually.
Okay.
Like seconds after.
I always do love when a sequel like just kicks off right where it stopped.
So she's at college right now talking to Ray.
Her and Ray are together, yeah, and she's about to take a shower, and she wants Ray to know.
It's a steamy shower, Jesus Christ.
It is
very hot.
The most disturbing part about this is a man probably came into the girl's room.
But that water fountain right there is like the coldest water. It's gonna be so good.
Oh,
yeah,
probably.
She didn't wash her hair, guys. It's very dry for coming out of the shower.
Yeah,
I think she's about to go in. I could be wrong though.
It's a steam shower.
The thumb ring. Oh man.
Is that how she's going to open up every card the rest of her life? Oh
yes.
My God, it's my birthday.
Yeah. Sounds like it's going to be a killer party.
This is like an unhealthy amount of steam.
Yeah. That's really...
It's worth it because the way this is going to cleanse her pores.
Oh, man. Nothing feels better than walking out of a sauna, guys. I'm especially after drinking.
That's true. Just sweat it all out.
Just sweat it all out.
Would finger writing be the same as handwriting? Like, can we compare that to what he wrote on the letter?
Oh. So wait, it takes place right after that?
It does.
Okay, well, Peacock, it's coming up right now for me, so I guess we keep this party going.
It's aggressive. It's aggressive.
Party trifecta!
Get French onion. Yeah, Peacock is insistent.
I don't mind it.
Yeah, mine's about to start.
Yeah,
I'm exiting because it's been too soon.
Banner rehost. Let's go.
Oh, I've got 200 seconds of ads to fill here.
So this one has a 29 unrotten and 7% audience score.
I'm not surprised.
Any last thoughts? Horns, let's go to you first.
Again, I think that's one of the quintessential slashers for what I think of as the heyday of it, which would be like mid to late 90s to early aughts. And when you compare it to like all the fare that came after it, like the urban legends and the sequels like this, and even like Final Destinations to a lesser degree, I think it holds up because it does the stereotypes and the tropes, but not to like such a degree where it takes you out of the movie. Like it takes itself seriously enough to where you can still have fun with it, but the mystery is also kind of cool. So I think this is like I'm glad we did it as a commentary because it's one of the like staple slashers, I feel like.
Stikelee.
Yeah, I do think this movie gets an unfair rap, and I'm guilty of it because, especially after what I learned today, the comparison to like Scream, it shouldn't be put in that category because that's an unfair battle. It's not going to win. The movie itself is a blast. I think what holds this movie back is the franchise. 2 and clearly 3 that we weren't even aware of are not something that's held up. Whereas you just mentioned Final Destination. While those aren't like fantastic films, they're really fun. All of them are. Like
they continue to reinvent themselves.
As ridiculous as the plot is. So I think that's what actually holds this movie back, is that it really didn't develop into its own franchise. And Horns, you mentioned, I think, that they're going to revamp this soon, right?
Yes, this is getting the Lega sequel treatment, and Jennifer Love Hewitt is slated to return.
See, so I mean, I'm excited about it. I'm glad they're getting some of the OGs in it, but that is strange to me because it clearly didn't. It wasn't like something that's coming back from success. It was a one-hit wonder that had other films that, again, I don't think took off. So the film as itself is great. So we'll see where it goes from here.
Pretty ballsy too to lead right into your sequel at the end of the movie.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think a lot of films started to do that ambitiously and had like no idea what they would do if they got a sequel. But they're like, if we do, here's a little tease.
We're ready.
Well, we don't know what we're teasing.
Guys, we are the Bro Force Squad podcast. You guys can hit that subscribe button anywhere you get your podcast: YouTube, Apple Music, Amazon Music, Apple Podcast. They change it all the fucking time, the names. iHeartRadio, www.broforcesquad.com. That's where we post all of our stuff. Till next time, we're going to go try to not murder somebody while we're drunk.
Which is hard to do.
I brought a sweater for each of you guys here, so put these on before we go to the beach.
But I get to wear an undershirt, right?
No.
First time?